everyone. Welcome to Lex Talk, World Talk Show presented by ClickAway Creators. Today we have Mr. Gunasilan Arokyasamy with us. He is enrolled as an advocate with the Bar Council of Tamil Nadu since 1980 and has extensive experience in civil litigations. We have already interviewed him before, so I'm very sure that you already know about him. But presently, he's devoting his time to take what he has learned in the courtroom to classrooms by giving guest lectures on mediation as an appropriate dispute resolution mechanism to students of law, as well as making attempts to take this process of mediation to the end users, disputants at every level, communities, commercials, and families. Not only this, but recently he has been accredited as an APCAM mediator. APCAM stands for Asia Pacific Center for Arbitration and Mediation, who are also associated with us. So without any further ado, let me just introduce you to Mr. Arokyasamy. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Pallavi, I'm fine. How are you?
I am absolutely amazing, Gunasilan. Just wanted to know how this has been going for you, like since the pandemic. Like you have seen a lot of changes, courts have begun moving towards more remote proceedings and the availability. Do you think like this is sustainable and a possible way to increase the access to justice? So we'd really love to know what's your view on it.
Good. It's a very interesting question. You see, courts for some while have been preparing for this virtual mode of operation. See, they have developed extensively the court website, and e-filing system is already in progress. But with pandemic, the massive change that has come into the legal infrastructure is a pointer towards the future, and the growth is abundant. In fact, the legal profession has adopted more to itself the growing technological development in its functioning. Access to justice, yes, in the sense like you can access any court through the websites already available in the web portal of the e-court system. But what this pandemic has done is virtual hearings. That has seen a turnaround in the legal profession. These virtual hearings, the courts have adopted different platforms and have experimented with it and are still experimenting with it. We have to see further growth in that. But to the best of my knowledge, of course, today the courts are using different platforms for virtual hearings, and it is more easier and more faster, and you can appear in very many courts sitting in one place. So that way, the burden on the lawyers as well as the legal system on the courts have decreased to an extent. But the problem which we have to address now is in India we have almost about as many high courts as well as the Supreme Court. And majority of in most of the courts, the access to justice is not all that easy. See, if you take 100% of the practitioners today or people who are accessing justice, you can say 40% would only be said to be vesting with the high courts as well as the Supreme Court of India. For the major metro cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, and Chennai, the technology is there and accessibility is there in the sense the internet connectivity is there. So it is easier and much more organized. But if you take the districts where 60% of the populace are there, to whom justice has to be catered to, they are the entry level in the profession. Not only for advocates or lawyers practicing in the lower courts and subordinate courts, but also for people. Because the first door they knock is at the lower district subordinate level. And it is there we have to improvise and make this technological development as well as the existing system available to them so that the access to justice in the real sense could be achieved. I would, in fact, put forward a suggestion so that the major technology, service providers, internet service providers, and companies having these virtual platforms and promoting this could, under the CSR scheme, take up the districts so that are not so easily connected and make a platform whereby people from the down corner of any part of India could access the district court justice system as well as the high courts or Supreme Court wherever it is required. See, the High Court has already, the High Courts and the Supreme Court web portals have already got the district court system already in existence. So you can assess the districts, you can see the potential, and you see, we have also introduced the judicial data grid in the system. So you will know at the touch of your fingertips how many cases are pending in what courts and where, how the progress of the cases are there in the courts. So these are all the areas where not only the persons in the legal profession should give their attention to, but also the institutions like web portals and various companies, they could take it up under their flagship and guide this process. So it will be in this pandemic, we have realized one thing: technology and law has to go together, has to survive together. And this will go in a long way if more companies and corporates who are in the system already to take under their wings these far-reach areas which are out of the regular normal connectivity and ensure that some access to justice is given to them. It's of course also the duty of the courts, no doubt about it. That takes me to a very interesting experience which I have had. You see, in my personal experience, I've been a trial lawyer for quite a long time. I think it's 43 years now. So we are all, like old school, not so easily, adaptive to the technological developments. But we have appointed ourselves and we are utilizing the system. And my experience, there are two things which I would like to focus upon. One is the alternate dispute resolution mechanism and the judicial system. That is, I'm talking of litigations and the courts in existence. It is the courts that have really given a boost to this alternate dispute resolution mechanism. And it has gained much, popularity with all the advocates of alternate dispute resolution mechanism. So now we are able to, in alternate dispute resolution mechanism, arbitration and mediation play a very effective role. Arbitration is also a very well-structured system. Mediation is a growing field, which has got huge potential. Now, with the technological development, what had happened is all the experts in the field from different corners of the world are coming across its virtual platforms. And we're able to have first-hand quality inputs in the development of the process. And more practitioners are forthcoming. They're able to understand the process of mediation, and they are trying to stem the growth of litigation at the grassroots level itself. To that extent, I would say it's a huge boost. Pandemic is a blessing in disguise for us, for those enthusiasts of alternate dispute resolution mechanism. Now, I had a very interesting commercial dispute. With the advent of the Commercial Courts Act and you see, after the introduction of the virtual hearing in the courts, For the first time, I was able to conduct a high-value commercial suit within a span of 2 years. I filed the suit sometime around December 2019, and by April, no, yes, I was able to get the suit completed, which means, you see, pleadings were completed, interlocutory applications were argued, evidences were taken, almost 5 witnesses were examined, and exhaustive arguments were advanced, judgment was reserved, and judgment has been pronounced. So this is a massive development for an original set practitioner like me to have a complete commercial suit fully tried in the virtual platform itself and concluded within a short span of 2 years is an amazing thing. Because I have also had litigations where I've been conducting them, where I've conducted them for almost 25 years for a single case it took to get completed. So that is my personal experience, I'm telling you. So I would in fact sum it up as this pandemic has been a blessing in disguise and has opened doors for a lot of more collaborative approaches in resolving the disputes and in providing access to justice.
Thank you so much, Gunasilan, for beautifully putting it into words. Now, as we loved your views on how pandemic has been a blessing in disguise. Now, my next question to you is that how would you rate the current legal system drive towards encouraging the access to justice? And do you think is there a tangible movement in closing the justice gap?
Yes. The current legal system is really burdened. If the number of cases that are pending in the courts, if it were to be allowed to reach its logical end, it will take years and years to get it done with. Now, the closing the justice gap, as you say, is by encouraging, as I've said earlier, the alternate dispute resolution mechanism. Now, the alternate dispute resolution mechanism right now available in the system is either conciliation or mediation. That is both one and the same, or through arbitration. Now, I have seen a phenomenal increase and about awareness of the process of mediation, with the courts themselves encouraging it. And in arbitration, there is a huge, resolution of commercial disputes because it's a very structured process and has gained standing in the commercial community. Of course, about the effectiveness of mediation in the commercial disputes and by mandating compulsory mediation before coming to the court of law, knocking on the doors, or steps to not only ease the burden of the courts in in the backlog of cases, but also in disposal of already cases that are pending. So our courts, our justice system has been very encouraging, and the Supreme Court had on and off have recommended steps to be taken for expediting the mediation process and building up the infrastructure for that. Yes, the court annexed mediation system has given a great push. And now it is the courts, Supreme Court of India, that have taken the initiative in this connection and had formed a committee of experts to look into the possibility of enacting a mediation act to streamline the process. Now, there are a lot of academic discussions that are running around whether mediation should be regulated by an act, by a statutory instrument, or should it, as a process, should it not be allowed to be disturbed by statutes and enactments, making the field a cumbersome one. Nevertheless, the push towards having a mediation act, I personally feel, would go in a long way in establishing the credibility of the mediation process. In the sense, the act could address on the issues of accreditation, empanelment, and the ethics, code of conduct and ethics in conducting mediation process. Otherwise, it will be a jungle rajya. So I would say that the justice system has recognized the fact that it cannot dispense justice as it exists now. And therefore, it is fostering the growth of the alternate disputes resolution mechanisms, and more particularly, the system of mediation. Now, in arbitration as well as in mediation, one thing which we encounter often is the use of technology. While we should say that the massive growth in arbitration and mediation sectors is purely because of the technological developments we have today. Nevertheless, there are hardly much legal platforms, I mean, like well conceived and developed structures are available in the technical platform that could cater to the requirements of the dispute resolution mechanism system as well. There are platforms available today. I will not definitely say no. There are. But then you see, when it comes to cross-border resolution of disputes and international commercial disputes being resolved through mediation, Singapore Convention has paved the way, but it still has to go. We have a long way to travel. And so far as arbitration is concerned, there are a lot of technical issues like enforcement of the awards, and even in conduct of the process, discovery of documents, and narrowing down the issues to be adjudicated without any oral hearings and purely based on records. Therefore, where discovery and interrogatories come into play, I think we have a lot more to evolve and develop. So you can definitely say one thing, that the legal system is highly encouraging this alternate dispute resolution mechanism, thereby giving a push to access to justice, and technology has to cope up with that, and technology is coping up with that and is still developing, and the future has to tell us now. This pandemic has shown us the way forward. The issue of, ultimately it boils down to one thing. Whatever be the technology that is available in the market, or whatever the platform which we use, ultimately when it comes to justice and dispensation of justice, it is the humans that matters, the corporates that, the interests of the parties that matters. How we reconcile the technology to meet this is in the hands of the persons who are using these technologies. Artificial intelligence is gaining ground, no doubt about that, and it will be add and it will give an impetus to the process of justice dispensation. But ultimately, it depends on the hands of the individuals concerned who are using these technologies to develop and to augment the growth of not only justice dispensation, but the development of technology as well. So therefore, it is a collaborative process, and it is an evolving process, and we have much more to see. And I'm really looking forward with all these technology giants to come forward and put in their effort in this field. Recently, I had a benefit of attending Cisco WebEx, who have introduced the WebEx 1. They have introduced a platform by which all the systems are integrated, like Zoom, all these applications which we are using today. There are many more platforms like that available. So I personally feel that there is a bright future ahead, not only for access to justice, for technology, but also for the growth of justice dispensation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gunasilan, for sharing your views on this. Now, time is obviously money in any profession, and in legal it's most of all. Just want to know in a few words, like how do you make the best of your time as a lawyer?
You see, as a practitioner, of course, our times are very much restricted to the court functioning hours. But as an alternate dispute resolution specialist, we have enough time to cross continents through this technological platform and able to gather inputs from across the world. And in that process, as you said, money, yes, money definitely comes into play. And we go by the hours we put in and the hours we spend on the research and discussions. I mean, see, now having a virtual conference is very easy. So discussing with the clients their issues and accessing the platforms is very easy. And therefore, we are able to give quality input to our in the conduct of our legal profession as such. And yes, technology is giving us a lot of scope for earn more money also. Time is money. And so much of saving is done by time. And therefore, yes, time, money, technology is really added to that. It has added value to it.
Absolutely, absolutely, Gunasilan. Thank you so much for sharing such great insights with us yet again. And I'm really looking forward to having some amazing conversations, sometime soon whenever you have time. And thank you so much. It has always been a pleasure talking to you as it is today. And yeah, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you. And for our viewers, please share this video and also do not forget to like it. And there's a bell button just on the top right corner. Please subscribe to ClickAway Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do. And you have more coming from industry legal leaders like Mr. Arokya Sami. Thank you. This is Bharti for Lex Talk signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.